How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Alien Issue 1 from Marvel. This is Marvel's first Alien book, and for those of you guys who don't know about this whole thing, I'll really quickly get you up to pace. The Alien and Predator movies had their comics over at Dark Horse Comics. Now, eventually, Disney would buy 20th Century Fox, which gave them the rights to Alien and Predator, and they of course moved Alien and Predator from Dark Horse Comics over to Marvel, which I really enjoyed the Dark Horse comics. I've read a bunch of them, and everything I've read I've really liked. So hearing this news, it was something to be expected, but I really liked what I had, and I was a little nervous as to what Marvel would do with these stories. So I guess that's why I'm making this video. I normally wait till there's a complete plot arc, either 4 to 6 issues, however long it is, or the graphic novel, and that's when I read and talk about it. But for this one, I know there's a lot of people like me who are a little bit worried what Marvel would do with the license, and I figured I'd make this to say that for now, everything is looking good. Now, there is a possibility that within the next couple issues they could just mess the whole thing up, but as far as issue 1 goes, right now we're looking good, and I'm hoping it stays good. I love aliens, and I want to see them in good stories, so fingers crossed for this new book. I'll check back in on it when the whole plot arc's out, but for now, let's take a look at issue 1. First of all, as you can see across the top, Alien, not aliens. Dark Horse would always go for aliens, plural, like the sequel. They would only ever do Alien if it was tied directly into one of the movies or something. Look down at the bottom, we can see the barcode for this thing, and we notice a few things on here. First of all, $4.99, which is a little on the expensive side, but it is actually 30 pages. Most comics are only 22, so if I'm getting more pages, I guess I can do that extra $1. And also note parental advisory, which is a great thing. These are comics that are adapting rated R horror movies. You need that parental advisory. Let's go ahead and take a look at the credits page. If we flip it to the credits, we see a little previously on. Here it talks about Alien Part 1. Here's Aliens, and then it tells you that we're now in the year 2200. You get a nice spread, double-page spread with the title and the letters all spaced out like they were in the movie. And then the credits here. Phillip Kennedy Johnson is your writer. Salvador Larroca is the artist. Guru EFX color art. VC's Clayton Cowles as the letterer, and In-Yuk Lee as the cover artist, and then plus a bunch of other artists doing variant covers. There's a ton of variants for this. And of course, sorry if I mispronounced any of those names, and a little schematic at the top, which is nice. So let's go ahead and talk about the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points, as well as I want you guys to have a basic understanding as to what this book's about, but no major spoilers. Now, that being said, I usually, whenever I say that, talk primarily about setup, but seeing as how this is issue 1, this is primarily setup, so forgive me if I'm a little more vague than I normally am. We open up a guy describing a terrible darkness, and you see the perspective from inside a cryogenic freezing pod with the message, Alien Inside. Very reminiscent of The Walking Dead's Do Not Open, Dead Inside. But you see, these are dreams based on some guy's traumatic experience with an alien, and then he talks about the darkness, and it leads to this double-page splash with all these aliens on it. Really, really cool, but what's going to be drawing a lot of people's eye, and what the text up there talks about, is this new female alien creature. They call her a goddess and a queen in the story's text. Up at the top in this black and white here. Doesn't look like an alien queen, though. There's a bit of story later on where her name might be Alpha, which, I mean, talk about another Walking Dead thing. To be honest, when I first saw her, I thought for a second this was going to be the alien from the movie Species, which is another H.I. Geiger creature. But no, I don't think so. But yeah, I'm all up for seeing new aliens and new creatures. This one looks a little bit too humanoid. I'm a little worried. But that being said, I'm always glad to see a new creature. But that being said, this is an alien book. Let's make sure we're focused primarily on the aliens. But yeah, I'll check out and see what's up with this. It could be really interesting. And hey, a new species and all that. Speaking of this page, though, there is the little cobra facehugger from Prometheus right below her there. So they didn't reference Alien 3 and 4 in the previously on, but we do get a little Prometheus reference there. So that is really cool. I'm wondering what circumstance the guy saw that in. We do meet this guy that's having these dreams, though, Gabriel Cruz, and he's in therapy, and his therapist is good old Lance Hendrickson there, Bishop, not the same Bishop as we know from Aliens, but a Bishop model, and he's giving this guy therapy, and he's on a satellite deep in space, and he's about to retire and go home. We get this cool little plot thing here where he's like, I'll miss you when I go home, and Bishop goes, no you won't. I'm an android. I'll just send my memories to Earth, and another Bishop will pick them up, and it'll be like I never left. So a really fun, I'm not really there, but I'm basically there. So that's cool. We get a little bit of his retirement party. We get to see the outside of the spaceship, the satellite he's on, and we get this important line at the end where he talks about how there are conspiracy theorists who don't like Weyland-Yutani, but he says Weyland-Yutani is essential for the human race, and that if the species wants to survive, they need Weyland-Yutani, and you get this very important line where he says Weyland-Yutani are the good guys. So the good guys, that's his perspective there, and that will be very important later. He returns to Earth where we meet his son and his girlfriend, and the girlfriend, when he's at his dad's, says, hey, you should go get some data from your dad that we might need, because you see, he doesn't believe Weyland-Yutani are the good guys, so he is differing from his dad there, and he is going to be doing some anti-Weyland-Yutani work. He goes in, talks to his dad, gets the information and stuff, and it's not terribly long before the two start fighting really badly there. So the relationship is definitely strained. In addition to that, we get another flashback to whatever it was our main character experienced, and here we see him, and he's inside the alien resin there. So that is a thing there. But then one more thing before we go, and I'm going to have to leave this pretty vague. We cut back to his ship, the Epsilon Station. This is where he retired from. And we get to see, another cat, which the alien movies love cats. But let's just say things are about to go down on the station, which leads to the action and is going to lead to the aliens. Now, that being said, I'm not going to spoil that, but that is where the action starts. And I guess first we should mention the pacing. Marvel took the time to do a bunch of character setup and situation setup, and that's going to play into stuff later, and I do like that they did character setup. That's really important. Now, the aliens and the action, you only see them in the dream and the flashback, and then there's some action at the end. Now, if you just want to dive right into the action, there's not terribly much in the first book, but major props for them to take some time and do some setup. And I do really like the character, and I do like getting to know him, and I like that him and his son has different views as to what's the best for the human race. Is Weyland-Yutani good? Is Weyland-Yutani evil? And that is going to be something that they have to figure out. So that is all really good setup there. And another thing, parental advisory. Like I said, that was one of the big things I was worried about when it came over to Marvel. I was really worried that this be toned down. Now, we don't get a ton of action in this first issue, so I can't say definitively how far they're willing to go, but there was a little bit of gore as well as a little bit of language. Now, no F-bombs, but more than you'd expect from a Marvel book. And I remember I did a review for Alien vs. Predator Thicker Than Blood, one of the Dark Horse comics, and a guy gets his head cut off in that book, and I specifically said in that I don't think Marvel's going to have the guts to cut anyone's head off. And, well, in issue 1, someone gets their head blown off with a shotgun, so way to go, Marvel. Totally did the opposite of what I thought you'd do. Now, it wasn't near as gory as the Dark Horse book was, and in the Dark Horse book, the guy's head rolls off in front of his son, and that's pretty dark. So, not as gory as Dark Horse. There was more gore than I'd expect in a Marvel book, and once we see some more legitimate action and scares, because like I said, it's only just starting to heat up by the end of this issue, I'll judge it more on the gore when we see more action. So, for now, it looks okay. I'm hoping this doesn't get watered down. That is very important. So, I guess in conclusion, this is a pretty good setup. I can't tell 100% what this book's going to be like from issue 1, but for now, cautiously optimistic. It was actually a really good issue. I just, I haven't seen a lot of the action, and that's going to be very, when we see it, we're going to see what this book's really like. But for now, I'll say if you like the Dark Horse stuff, go ahead and pick this up. If you want to see Aliens, this is where we have to get it now. And they didn't mess it up right off the bat, so I'll be buying issue 2, and I'm hoping it's going to stay good. I like the character-driven story, and I do like that it's not watered down. So here's hoping the book stays good, and hey, what's that Alien Alpha going to be up to anyway? For that being said, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You are really helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see more of my reviews for the Alien and Predator comics, you can find them in there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom.